So we're here today to really tell you a story about collaboration and vision. How a student's dream and vision in high school, just a few short years ago, is coming to a really key point in the project's history. So as you may know, on this site for many years sat Holy Trinity Catholic Church. It is the future home of a stormwater park that will soon have a new name, and you'll hear that a little later. The stormwater park was the vision of Robert here as a student at Bosse High School, and it's a pleasure to see him today, how he's matured. It was a nice conversation about how it takes a long time to get things done, but when things happen, it's really gratifying. So you're going to hear from a number of speakers today. First, I'd like to introduce Lane Young, who's the Executive Director of the Evansville Water and Sewer Utility, who's going to tell you about the park itself and how it will work, and then we'll introduce a number of other speakers. Lane?
Thank you, Mayor, and welcome to everyone on this beautiful day. This project that we're working on here is one that is part of a larger solution set. And it's really been fun for us to look at a community's problems and gather the various members of the community. So we have our corporate partners, we have our academic partners to come and solve a problem. The problem we have is 240 million gallons of rainwater that falls every year onto our downtown area, fills our sewer system, and creates quite a bit of overflow into the Ohio River, a mixture of rainwater and sewage. And so we wanted to solve that problem. And so what will happen is this park here, underneath it, will be a bunch of infrastructure that gathers that rainwater and keeps it and holds it so that it doesn't combine and go into the Ohio River with sewage, and allows us time to treat that. Now, we could have done this problem, we could have solved this problem in any number of ways, but this was one where we partnered with the community. And it was great to see the next generation, and Robert will talk a little bit about that, recognizing that communities have problems and need solutions. And we've got a solution set here that not only solves our problem in an economic and environmentally responsible way, but is going to leave beauty and add beauty to our system and quality of life to our residents. So we were excited about this. It'll be online. It'll take about a year to construct or so. And then we hope to see the park stand where we are today. With that, I'll turn it back over to the mayor and allow some of the other partners to come and share their experience.
Thanks, Lane. So Robert Lopez was a student at Bosse High School when he participated in the University of Evansville High School Changemaker Challenge. So we have really two great academic partners to celebrate today, the EVSC and the University of Evansville. First, we'll hear from Dr. David Smith, the superintendent of EVSC. David?
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon. You know, I always love the opportunity to talk about the incredible collaborative spirit that we have here in Evansville and Vanderburgh County, and this is such a prime example. And when you think about this competition that brought this project about, Changemaker, I think it brings together the very best that we have to offer. An outstanding university led by President Petroskavich. EVSC is another partner, as well as community school districts around Evansville, then outstanding students like Robert. And we participate in this in every year since its inception because we believe in it, we believe in the promise that it holds, and we believe in our youth. And we also know that our youth are such a valuable asset that frankly we don't expect enough of. And when we do put challenges out there to them, they can rise to the occasion, as an example by what Robert has done. So I appreciate the collaborative effort. Lane, President Petroskavich, Mayor Winnicky, this is what our community is about, and this is why we will continue to be successful, not only now, but well into the future. So thank you so much, and thanks for the opportunity.
When the University of Evansville launched Changemaker Challenge just a few short years ago, it really made a bold statement about the university's commitment to reach beyond the campus. And while it's been a community partner for as long as it's been around from its inception at Moores Hill as Moores Hill College, the Changemaker Challenge really more deeply ingrains the university into our community. We're really grateful for that. President Chris Petroskevich is a huge champion of the Changemaker Challenge, and it's a pleasure to introduce him today to talk a little bit about that and to introduce the visionary behind the park.
Well, thank you and good afternoon. And I'm delighted that everyone who has spoken so far has talked about the collaboration that exists not only with our academic institutions, with EVSC, but also with the city. Just 2.5 miles a little east of here is a university that has lots of civic resources that can help advance our city, help advance our community. And the project that began 5 years ago is a prime example of what can happen when so many people are together to work and be able to collaborate. It's neat to be able to see so many of the projects of the University of Evansville be part of the Evansville community, whether it's Communitree at Mickey's Kingdom, whether it is our ACE Care program for those that are uninsured and underinsured to receive physical therapy services, and of course the Stormwater Park that will be part, that was originally conceived by Robert as part of the Changemaker Challenge. You know, one of the things that I think is most important about universities as they go forward is that we have students that have 1 foot in the classroom and 1 foot out on the street. And that makes an enormous difference for all of us. They get to learn the theory behind how to make a difference by going to class and going to the library. And they get to make a real difference in our community by actually doing projects that make a difference. So over the course of the last 5 years, Robert has done exactly that on behalf of the university, on behalf of Bosse High School, and on behalf of our community. And there's so many other students at our university that want to be able to do the same. So I'm delighted that not only has the university been a part of this, but the fact that Robert has been spearheading it since he was a junior at Bosse High School. So Robert, I invite you to come up and share your vision. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So I decided to participate in the High School Changemaker Challenge as a junior in my biology class with my then best friend at the time, Caroline Haney, because we had nothing else better to do and because we were looking forward to a challenge. And little did I know that that very quick decision at the time would change the rest of my life. So I suddenly went from a high school junior who was way too close to failing to someone who was capable of working on this really stressful, difficult, but amazingly innovative park downtown that would ultimately change the face of this city forever. And it meant that I could be an example for every other student and kid who had a doubt in themselves, and that I could show them that it does get better and that you can make change if you find a reason to believe in yourself. And that is what UE ultimately gave me, was a reason to believe in myself by allowing me to continue to work on this project through a change lab, by getting college credit, and of course by being there for everything and anything I needed it when I needed it. But ultimately, none of that would have ever happened. I would not be here and the park would not be so close were it not for a incredibly determined and utterly inspirational woman who came into that biology class 5 years ago and pitched this crazy idea about this crazy park. So now I'd like to introduce my longtime friend, mentor, and the director for the Center of Innovation and Change, Aaron Lewis.
We'll come back up in a second. I'm not sure whose idea it was for me to follow Robert, but they're fired. So it's amazing for the Center for Innovation and Change to stand here as kind of a matchmaker in this region for our students' ideas and our faculty ideas. When they want to make a difference, we can call on a collaborative mayor and a collaborative water and sewer utility and say, what do you got? We have this idea, we have this passion, but it also comes to us from the community. And so we're happy to play that role as well. And this really came to us from my good friend and a proud UE engineering graduate, Mike Libitsky, who's hiding in the back, and I'm going to point him out. And he said he came to one of our Changemaker dinners, which are these power of loose connection things that we do to bring people together who have problems that might need to be solved but don't know the resources each other has. And he said, I need to filter this water, but I don't know what to put back down on top. Do you mind running this by some students? Happened to be going to Bosse a few days after that, and Robert happened to be in the room. So I always love to think about those twists and turns, but my hope is that people listening to this realize that we are here for that in a sustained way. As an Ashoka Changemaker campus, you can bring us those ideas. If you have it, if you're listening to this and you didn't think it was possible, I hope you'll learn from Robert and see that it is, because of the special collaborative nature of this region that has been recognized over and over. So I could not be more grateful to our partners that have made this possible, who will take those phone calls from our students. Mike personally coached Robert in his change lab multiple semesters in a row while working with the water and sewer utility. That, I think, only happens in this city, in this country. So I'm really proud for this. But mostly, our partners on the Changemaker Challenge, Toyota. They have sponsored every single one of them from the very first one in 2016. We're running our 7th and our 8th right now. And from the beginning, they recognized that this wasn't just something to sponsor, it was something to partner on. Toyota really exhibits what it means to be a good corporate citizen, and no one more so than my good friend Tiffany Hedin. So I'm going to invite her up here to introduce the Toyota portion of this section, and Ted from Toyota. Tiffany, you want to come up and say a few words?
Well, thank you, Erin, and thank you, Robert, and to everyone who's here today. I don't know about the rest of you who weren't in it from the beginning, but I can't believe that we're actually standing here and this is reality. So, woo! And I appreciate the kind words, Erin. So, I really think that this project was a lot of things. It was collaboration, it was vision, it was innovation, and perseverance, but I really think that the stars aligned on this one. I was pinch hitting that day. I was a judge at the Changemaker Challenge. I was asked to go and sub in for someone who couldn't make it, and I had literally no idea what I was doing, but I'm like, oh, sure, yeah, I can do that. And then I see all these great kids with these ideas, and Robert and Caroline came up, and all I remember is he was wearing this suit, and his hair was slicked back, and they were all dressed up really nice. And they were talking about this really cool park that could not just be a park where you play, but it could do something else. It could make a difference into a problem that most people don't think is glamorous, right? Let's be honest. I'm sorry that you probably have the work that you do and people say the things that they do. But it was amazing to see what the idea came out of these two high school students. And unfortunately, they didn't win, but their presentation skills were amazing. They were so well spoken. They were so well prepared. They had this great idea that was unlike anything we have in our region. And I could not leave that day without saying what I felt about it. So I went up and told them, hey, you did a great job. I wish you would have won. I voted for you. And here's my card. You want to talk later? Let's do it. Fast forward a year later or so, we meet up with Mike, and he tells me the reason why, because at the time, the kids weren't talking about the 240 million gallons of sewer entering our water system. But Mike told me without hesitation, and I thought, geez, that's not good. Maybe I should go home and buy some bottled water. But moreover, this is important, right? And the fact that it's an unfunded federal mandate and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. These are the details that people don't know because it's not glamorous, it's not sexy. But again, Robert and Caroline were charging forward without hesitation because they knew this would be something that could change our city, it could change our region, and it could be something that could be a benchmark that people would want to do after. And that's what was so important and resonated with me and the Toyota way, is that he was practicing it from the beginning. He was talking about collaboration and getting the community's input, which is what we call nemawashi. And he was talking about making things efficient and reusing some of the things that already existed. And that's totally the Toyota way. And I just knew it was something that we needed to be in on. So unfortunately, I don't get to make all those calls, but I have a great leadership team that helps me. And when I get all the facts together and I feel like it's right, I bring it to the table and I tell them, we really need to do this, so please say yes. And they did. One of those people who was very important in that process is here today, and he's going to share some really cool news. But you also might be wondering why I'm carrying around a jar that says joy. This week is a very special week, and I told you the stars aligned, right? So I didn't plan this, but Aaron says to me, Tiffany, the mayor's available on the 13th. Can we go? And I said, sure, why not? And then all this stuff happened behind the scenes where Toyota, we're rolling out our Joy Week. It's a week of joy where we're rolling around town in our Joy Mobile, specially branded, and we're bringing jars of joy to people to give them hope, to give them happiness, and to give them a little seed money to do something great like Robert's done in the community. And I can't tell you what a better way to kick off this week is than to see this young man get all the credit that he is due and to continue to inspire the youth in our community with a project we've worked on for years, people, years. So I would like to present this joy jar to my good friend Robert so that you may continue to inspire others. This joy jar is not my idea. It's actually our friend Nora. If you haven't seen the Toyota commercial, I want you to go home and Google it or check out our Facebook page, because Nora is a very timid young Latino female who receives joy in different ways when she sees things on the street or something that fills her heart, and she saves it in a jar. And then one day she becomes inspired to take all the jars that she's stocked in her garage, load them up in her beautiful red Tundra, and drive around town with the tops open so that she can spread that joy and inspire others. And Robert, that is what you've done today and what you've done over the past 5 years and what I know you'll continue to do with your life. So may I present this to you and then introduce the next speaker. Now, without further ado, may I present Ted Brown, our Vice President of Administration, to talk to you a little bit more about the project and why we think it's so important.
Thanks, Tiffany, and good afternoon. Appreciate that. You know, when we're asked to partner with an organization to support a community project, there are a lot of factors that we evaluate. But honestly, from the very beginning, it was very clear. There was no question at all whether or not this was a well-aligned opportunity or not. You know, from kind of the thoughtful approach, the innovative concept, and the strong, dedicated leadership by you, Robert, we knew without hesitation this was a project that we wanted to support and get behind with gusto. So that's why we're here today. It's my distinct pleasure to announce that Toyota will be the name sponsor for the soon-to-be Toyota Trinity Stormwater Park and grant a $350,000 donation to kick off this project, this idea, for this region. We've got some renditions here that Robert's been working on to show the view of this beautiful concept that will be coming to this area. And you know, we hope that this will kick off a number of other community partners to join us in what we saw as a great activity 4 years ago and join us in sponsoring and supporting Robert, the University of Evansville, and Evansville Stormwater and Sewer Company to bring and make Trinity Park one of many green living spaces here in our community and in our region. So Robert, thank you so much for your contribution to making this happen, and congratulations to seeing a dream come true. Thank you so much.
Thank you.